Sonic Spinball. Yes, this game does exist. Sonic Spinball was a game that was released in November 1993. Not only was this game released 2 whole months after Sonic CD, but also 3 months before Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Spinball was made by Sega Technical Institute, who at the same time was also working on Sonic 3. So, how exactly did they release Spinball in November, then have Sonic 3 released just 3 months later? Well, it's quite simple. After Sonic 2 was released, work on Sonic 3 began almost immediately. However, a decision was made that Sonic 3 would be handled entirely by the Japanese side of STI, while the American side of the team went on to experiment with other Sonic games they could make. Sonic 3 was originally meant to be released for Christmas time in 1993, but the game was suffering a lot of delays and other issues during development. So, with Sonic 3 being pushed to February 1994, Sega decided to commission the American side of STI to put out a Sonic game in time for the holiday season that year. Around January 1993, STI made a demonstration video for a game called Sonic Pinball. The video is available online, though it's just a minute long and in pretty low quality. This demo video was pretty much the basis for what ended up becoming Sonic Spinball. Shortly after seeing this demonstration, Sega greenlit the game. Sonic Spinball would end up becoming the first ever Sonic game to be fully developed by an American team. And you'll see how that turned out as I delve into the game. I first got to play Sonic Spinball a little over a decade ago on an actual Sega Genesis, along with Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Toy Story. So not counting a brief encounter with 3D Blast on PC, and renting Shadow the Hedgehog on the Xbox, Spinball was technically one of the first actual Sonic games I ever got to play. The most I could remember about playing it back then was how I couldn't beat the first level, which doesn't surprise me if I'm being honest. Well, I guess I'll start talking about the game. So the plot of Sonic Spinball is that Dr. Eggman has taken over a volcanic mountain called Mount Mobius, and has constructed a new base called the Vigo Fortress. So Sonic heads over with Tails to put a stop to the Doctor's Vigo Fortress. That's pretty much it. Also, yes, the mountain is apparently called Mount Mobius, at least according to the instruction manual. Also in the manual, it calls the planet Sonic and Company live on Planet Mobius. I should probably mention that when the first few Sonic games went through early westernization, they changed the lore of the games to be different from the Japanese versions. In Japan, the characters just lived on Earth, but in America, they made up their own planet called Mobius. To my knowledge, it remained that way for years, until Sonic Adventure released in 1998/1999, which pretty much made the original Japan lore the true canon. I bring this up because this'll further show how American Spinball is compared to every other Sonic game. Though another thing I really want to bring up is the box art. The American box art has the usual American designs of Sonic and Eggman by the late Greg Martin, which is expected. However, just take a gander at the Japanese box art. Wow, that looks rad as shit. I also like how the back of the Japanese box needed to state how this game was from USA. I guess it was to help clarify to Japanese audiences why this game is so different compared to other Sonic games, which were all made in Japan at that point. Okay, so the gameplay of Sonic Spinball is very different when compared to the first 2 games and CD. Sonic Spinball is about guiding Sonic through these pinball-like areas to get to a boss fight with Dr. Eggman. There are some bits where you get to walk around on the ground and spin dash, but Sonic's ground control and physics are complete ass. But these short areas aren't really the point of the game. There's only 4 levels in Sonic Spinball, which probably makes this the shortest Sonic game in the Genesis library. The 4 levels are Toxic Caves, Lava Powerhouse, The Machine, and The Showdown. Spinball apparently only had 9 months of development put into it, so I'm honestly not shocked at how little levels we have in this game. So how are the actual levels? Well, if you don't like pinball, then this game is really not for you. For me, I like pinball a decent amount, so I can get some enjoyment out of playing this game. The levels are basically uniquely designed pinball tables where you can control the ball itself, that being Sonic. Pretty much every level in the game is super luck-based and takes a lot of practice to overcome. I'm guessing with the game only having 4 levels, STI figured they should just make every level difficult to beat, especially for first-time players. I do think the game can be okay and pretty fun to play. I do love that idea of actually being able to control the pinball, but there are many times where Spinball can be hard as hell to beat, especially the showdown. Throughout the levels, not only are you trying to beat Eggman, you also have to collect a certain number of Chaos Emeralds. No special stages, you just gotta get to them in the actual levels. And for some reason, all the emeralds are blue in this game. Not only that, but there is a stupid amount of them. In Sonic 1, there were 6 emeralds. In Sonic 2, and pretty much every game since, there's been 7. But how many are in Spinball? Well, Toxic Caves and Lava Powerhouse both have 3 to collect. Then the Machine and the Showdown both have 5. So if you add all that up, that's 16! Yes, there are 16 emeralds in Sonic Spinball. What the fuck? I mean, to be fair, Sonic the Fighters did have 8 emeralds, but holy shit. I'm guessing the lore for how many emeralds there were supposed to be just wasn't too important at the time. Graphically, Spinball looks alright. I don't think it looks as good as the games before it, but it still has a pretty unique feel to it. Continuing on how American Spinball can be, Sonic's in-game sprite is definitely one of the biggest ones. Sonic's sprite can already look unique for most of the main games, but Spinball's sprite definitely sticks out. For starters, he has the fucking Greg Martin mohawk that most of the American box arts and cartoons were using at the time. This isn't one of my favorite Genesis Sonic sprites. It looks too rough for my liking, but he does have some charm to him. It's interesting that Mohawk Sonic got a chance to shine in at least one game. What's also unique about Spinball is the soundtrack. The music and sound were created by Howard Drawson, Barry Bloom, and Brian Coburn. Brian and Barry were from Sega Multimedia Studio, while Howard Drawson was actually from the STI team. Sonic Spinball's music really utilizes that Genesis twang, as many people call it. A twang that, oddly enough, no other Sonic game used. Apparently, the reason why Spinball sounds more Genesis-y than, say, Sonic 1, 2, or 3 is because most of the main games were developed in Japan, where Japanese teams had access to the better SMPS sound driver for the Mega Drive. However, since Spinball was wholly developed in America, that meant STI only had access to the GEM sound driver, which gave a lot of American Genesis games that twang sound to it. By the way, I have no clue how any of this technical shit works. I'm just going off a comment that my friend Omar left on a previous review. Despite using a technically worse sound driver, I think Drawson and crew did a solid job with Spinball's music. Especially Toxic Caves music. It sounds great, and a synthesized version of it would appear in Sonic Generations. The only track I would say sounds horrifically awful is the options/results screen music. If you played this game, you should know how fucking awful that track sounds. So if you're ever in the options, then mute the fucking TV. Interestingly enough, the 1994 soundtrack album, Sonic the Hedgehog Boom, included 4 bonus tracks that were arranged versions of Sonic Spinball songs, all composed by Howard Drawson himself. The songs included were the Spinball theme music, an extended rendition of the opening cutscene music, Toxic Caves, and Lava Powerhouse. I kinda wish we got arranged versions of the Machine and the Showdown too, but oh well. I wonder if Howard Drawson would have been open to doing that. Would have been neat. Not only did the 1994 Boom album contain Spinball tracks, but the 1996 album, Sega Tunes Virtual Sonic, also contained slightly different arrangements of the Spinball theme and Toxic Caves. Both were once again handled by Spinball's composer, Howard Drawson, and both sounded really good. Fun fact, by the way, I think the arrangement of the Spinball theme included in Sega Tunes was actually used in TV broadcast for the 1993 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, where Sonic was included as a balloon for the first time. Sonic ended up being the first ever video game character to be put in the parade, which is pretty sick. Oh yeah, this was also the same parade where Sonic crashed into a lamppost and caused it to fall down and hit a police officer. So Sonic has assaulted a police officer in real life. This really makes the plot of the Sonic movie hit different. Getting back to the game itself, I've never actually beaten Spinball, That might sound really pathetic when you realize there's only 4 levels, but holy shit, this game's difficulty can be super fucking obnoxious. Toxic Caves is like the only level I can easily beat, but only on better days. This is easily the most memorable level in the game, and that's probably because most newcomers can't even finish the damn stage. It's all about luck, so these levels can take a while to complete. First you gotta press these 2 buttons at the top to open these lids, then you gotta travel up both these pipes to 2 different sections, then you gotta flip these 2 switches to clear a railway. Afterwards you gotta launch yourself up and fall into a minecart, then roll your way to one of the emeralds. I gotta say, the sound effect that plays when you acquire a Chaos Emerald is super Genesis-y, but it's also severely loud. Again, why are all the emeralds blue? The boss fight in Toxic Caves is apparently called Scorpius, a scorpion robot with Eggman's face on it. It's pretty easy, though it is the first boss, but it's kind of funny how the levels are far more difficult to beat than the actual boss fights. Every time you beat a level, you get to play a bonus round. Bonus rounds can help you earn some extra points, which can also help earn a few extra lives. There's 2 interesting things about these bonus stages. For starters, we can clearly see Sonic has his mohawk in the reflection. He looks pretty similar to how he looked in AOSTH and SatAM. Speaking of SatAM, these bonus rounds also feature cameos from Tails and a few of the Freedom Fighters from the SatAM cartoon. So this may just be the only Sonic game where Sally Acorn, Bunny Rabbit, and Rotor make an appearance. Huh. Maybe now the Ralph for Sal movement can shut the hell up. Alright, next up is Lava Powerhouse, which is usually the last actual level I can beat legitimately. This level is a tad more difficult than Toxic Caves. It's most definitely more annoying. You can die almost instantly if you fall into the lava pit at the beginning of the level. And I always hate the parts where you gotta use smoke to shoot Sonic up in the air. Plus you have to bounce off a Batnik at just the right angle. Otherwise you're just not going up. This level can be super irritating. Good music though, especially the arranged version on Sonic the Hedgehog Boom. The boss fight here involves jumping into a container filled with Eggman heads. Just destroy all of them and you win. As simple as that. Now, Lava Powerhouse is about as far as I can make it into Spinball without getting a game over. So the next level, the machine, I have yet to legitimately beat. Quick heads up that I'm playing this on an actual Sega Genesis, so I don't have access to using save states. There is apparently a level select code, but I haven't gotten it to work properly, so I'm gonna have to use the Game Genie. Since I've never been able to beat the machine, I'll use a code that gives me infinite lives. And I still can't beat this level. The machine is a fucking puzzle. I have no clue how to acquire all the emeralds. And there's 5 of them in this level instead of the regular 3. Even though there should really just be 1 left since there's only supposed to be 7 emeralds. Fun fact, the look for the machine was inspired by the cut Sonic 2 level, Genocide City, aka Cyber City. So there's that, I guess. The machine is just so fucking confusing. It's probably because I've never beaten this level, but I just don't know what to do here. I played this level for like 22 minutes until I gave up. The amount of times you have to angle Sonic properly to make these jumps is beyond annoying. So whatever, I give up. Call me a quitter, but yeah, just call me a quitter. I'm moving on. Alright, the last level, the Showdown, is not any better. Case in point, this level is literal hell. It has some of the most bullshit design possible. Just one wrong move, and you will die almost instantly. If you somehow didn't get a game over from playing the first 3 levels, then this level will make sure you get at least 16. The Showdown is impossible. It's like the perfect inoculation of how absolutely fuck you hard this game can get. Unless you're a kid in the 90s with a strong enough determination to want to complete this fucking game, there is no way in hell you'll be able to beat this level without save states. Despite that, I pushed on. I played this level for about 25 minutes straight, and even with infinite lives, I just couldn't do it. I'm not strong enough. If anything, I do really like the showdown's atmosphere. It definitely feels like the grand finale. You know, if you didn't already get that impression from looking at all of this. The Dr. Seuss looking socks are a bit of an interesting inclusion? I guess while we're on that topic, just like Sonic, the Cat in the Hat was also a balloon float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And in 1997, it also crashed into a lamppost and injured a few people. Also in the same year, a Barney balloon got ripped apart by another lamppost. Remind me to never go to this parade. Oh yeah, and the showdown fucking sucks ass. So make fun of me all you want, but I can't beat this stupid game. So you win this round today, Sonic Spinball. With that said, that's pretty much all there is to mention about Sonic Spinball. There is an option for 4 players, but it's mainly for alternating between turns. So, I guess play this with friends if you want to. Sonic Spinball is okay. It's a very short game. It's also the cheapest Genesis Sonic game you can find on the market, at least to my knowledge. But if you want to get Sonic Spinball on more current hardware, well, the ROM is on Steam for dirt cheap. The game's also available on most Sega Genesis collections, so looking there wouldn't be a bad choice either. Interestingly enough, there's an 8-bit version of Spinball on the Game Gear and Master System. I did play the Game Gear version briefly on Sonic Adventure DX, but it wasn't all that interesting. Actually, the most intriguing part of this version is probably the box art. Not only is 8-bit Spinball using the AOSTH Robotnik design, but it's also using that unique classic Sonic design. You know, the one that's featured in Sonic the Screensaver? Why is 8-bit Spinball one of the only games in the series to use this rad classic Sonic design? I think Triple Trouble also used it too, apparently. Good lord. In terms of other ports of Spinball, did anyone else play the iOS version? I did. In fact, the iOS version was where I was first able to beat Toxic Caves and Lava Powerhouse legitimately. Sadly, this iOS port got delisted a few years back, which kind of stinks. It wasn't a great version, but it was still a pretty decent port of the game to play on the go. It was probably the best handheld version of Sonic Spinball to exist, mainly because it wasn't the Game Gear version. Well, there actually was another handheld version of Sonic Spinball. First, remember the Sega Smash Pack on the Dreamcast? That shoddy collection of Sega games that had piss-poor emulation? Well, there was actually another version of the Sega Smash Pack, released for the Game Boy Advance in September 2002. This version of the Smash Pack included Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe, and Sonic Spinball. Yup, ports of the 16-bit Genesis games on the 32-bit GBA. And just going off of how Sonic Spinball plays in this collection, it's actually kind of okay. I mean, there is screen crunch, and the audio can be a bit rough, but apart from that, it looks and plays decently. If I had this collection growing up, I probably would have liked it just fine. But while the gameplay is decent, the graphics can have some sprite layering issues, and the audio itself is a bit mixed. I didn't play too far into this port, but apparently most of the game's soundtrack got removed, so Toxic Caves music just plays in every level. Meanwhile, the bonus rounds also had their music removed, so there's almost no audio when you're playing them, which is a bit whack. But hey, the options/result screen music was completely removed, so that's a plus. Honestly, I'm not too shocked that not a whole lot of people really talk about this port. Like, don't get me wrong, this is the furthest from being the best version of Spinball to play, but it's also not the worst thing ever. For a handheld port of a 16-bit Sega game released in 2002, it gets the job done decently. And hey, at least it plays better than another GBA port I know. And that was pretty much all I've got to say about Sonic Spinball. It's super short and difficult to play, but for what it is, it's alright. We never did get a follow-up to this game. Though a whole 10 years later in 2003, we did get Sonic Pinball Party on the GBA. However, that played more like a traditional pinball game with Sonic-themed tables, rather than playing like what Sonic Spinball was trying to do. Maybe I'll give Pinball Party a look in a future video. Who knows? For now, go check out Sonic Spinball if any of you were interested. And until the next review, thank you all for watching. Also, can I get an F in chat for the Sonic, Cat in the Hat, and Barney balloons that were all tragically slain in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parades? All 3 will be missed. Today's the Macy's Day Parade, night of the living that is on its way, with a credit report for duty call. Give me something that I need, satisfaction guaranteed, 'cause I'm thinking about a brand new home, one I've never known and where it goes. And I'm thinking about a brand new home, the one I've never known, 'cause now I know it's all that I wanted.